What's up YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. It's a little windy today, so I've got the lapel mic on, so hopefully that will help to keep the wind down. But we want to do a simple lawn review today and show you guys what the lawn's looking like. You can obviously see it behind me, the condition it's in, but we want to show you up close what the triple threat / Jonathan Green Solar Green is looking like, just to briefly backfill the story of anybody that's not watched previous videos here on my channel. I'm a DIYer. I'm not a professional. I'm just a do-it-yourself lawn guy here in Central North Carolina, just north of the Raleigh area. And recently we've cut this down to 2.5 inches. We've aerated our front lawn and our entire lawn, but we only seeded the front. And we mixed a little bit, about 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds worth of Jonathan Green Solar Green, which is tall fescue and Texas bluegrass. We mixed that in with a local blend of seed called Triple Threat that you can get in Middlesex, North Carolina from Southern Seeds. And we did a 25-pound bag, but we only probably took about 15 out of that 25-pound bag, mixed it with the Solar Green, spread it here on the front lawn only. And we also did the Anderson's 44-00 humic covered urea fertilizer. So that's what we did. And so now it's been just over a week. It's been actually right around day 9. Today is day 9. So we want to jump out here in the lawn, just show you the progress, show you what I'm seeing. It's not all good. So let's get out there. Let's look at the lawn. So I'll tell you what, our pepper plant that I showed you guys last time has been doing well. My daughter ate this one and actually put the cap, what we call it, back in there to decompose. But we've also, me and my youngest daughter, planted a little bit of GCI turf seed in here. It's yet to come up, so we'll see. She wanted to plant her own baby grass. But starting right here in the very front section, I'll say one thing let me go back to the last video. I want to mention something that I talked about in the last video. We talked about being patient. We talked about what can we do while that baby seed is coming up. One of the things I did fail to mention, that Don Julio, he's got the eagle logo under his name. He made an excellent point, which I failed to mention because I don't always think of everything. But something else we can be doing while our lawn is growing in is watching for fungus. We're doing a lot of watering in the day, some watering in the evening, and fungus can creep in, especially with the changing of temperature. It has literally been 90 degrees when we planted, and today it's like 77. We've had a big temperature change, and the soil temperatures have dropped. We're getting 40s at nighttime. Where we were planting, it was in the upper 60s. So one thing that I did do is, if you guys remember way back in the beginning of the season, I bought some of the Bayer fungicide fungus treatment that's in that blue bottle that you would connect to your hose. I bought 4 of them for $1. I sprayed one of those in my entire front yard. It's propiconazole. We sprayed it in the entire front yard and a little bit by the mailbox over here because I was feeling like I was seeing a little bit by the mailbox. I'll show you that in a second. So fungus is something you want to look at and monitor. And if you've got something like propiconazole in your shed, it is worth saying, put it down. There's also been studies to suggest that propiconazole can actually help increase germination time. That is something that can help your lawn. So it's something to consider. Moving on into the video, one thing that I've definitely noticed that I need to not do next year is, yes, we had our fusillade areas, as you can slightly see back there on the bank, that were brown. But as soon as we did our cut down to 2.5 inches and we did our dethatching, number one, I think it was probably dumb to do the dethatching. I should have probably just hit the electric rake video. We should have probably just hit the areas that really needed it, because I saw a little bit of damage from that, because when we turned around and aerated the very next day, I noticed it really hurt the lawn. These areas that are brown like this, they weren't brown like that, several weeks back. Because I said, guys, let's, if we go back and look at the previous videos a week or so ago, the lawn was looking pretty stellar, except for in the areas with fusillade. So one thing I've noticed, aerating, dethatching, if your lawn is in a pretty healthy state, it can damage it. And this area, look over here by this tree, we'll look at it in a second, but that was all green and good to go. And so, yeah, so I think spacing that out, or is it necessary at all to do dethatching? I think I messed up doing it, but it'll be fine because we're growing in a new lawn anyways. So to quit blabbing here, this front area, as I was just mentioning, you can see some of the areas this was not damaged or brown at all prior to aeration day, but it's fine. We've got a lot of baby grass coming in, and of course I'm not going to show you guys every single blade of grass, but as I mentioned, it took 4 days to get germination. And even right here, you know, in the very front, you can kind of see we do have baby grass, especially like some of these areas. You got some peat moss that helps to point it out a little bit, but we've got probably, I don't know, an inch tall, inch and a half tall. If you recall the last video we did Monday, we spread some of that topsoil out just to cover, you know, cover it in the lawn. So, but yeah, this section, you can see a lot of new grass right here. This is all brand new grass right here. So a lot of it looking super good. Even over here in the corner, I'm making sure I put peat moss there. And we've got a lot of baby grass coming up. The best places I like to watch is the holes that I had. So one of the holes was right here, and you can really see how tall that grass is now. You know, it's green, it's thickening up, it's looking great. Look, we're even growing it right here on the rocks. That's crazy. So that should probably die out because it's literally between bricks. But that's a peat moss area right there. If we come back over here to some of the other holes, this was a hole where you can really see baby grass coming up here and here. And this area really took off over here. You know, look at that. That's crazy to look at, but you can see how much taller this grass right here is compared to the baby grass. To lift that bad boy up, I mean, that's a big old piece of grass right there, flopping over. But you've got beautiful little healthy little babies right here growing in, and we got leaves falling out of the tree as well. Same thing back behind it. With that section, it is covering up quickly to where it's, I have to look for a second to even find out where the holes are because they're filling in so quickly. But it's coming in, it's growing in, it's taking some time. Again, we're on day 9 from the day, you know, day 0 being when we aerated. We had just dethatched, we had just electric raked with the dethatcher the day before. And again, was it totally necessary? Probably not. Probably won't do that next year at all. As far as aeration and dethatching, we won't. As far as pulling up some of the dead grass, we won't do that. We'll roll with what we got, or we'll just hit it with the manual rake. As we move over to this section, we'll get over here in a second, but this grass around the tree is doing phenomenally well. I can notice that right here in front of the plant bed, this was a lot really brown, really damaged, maybe either from the zero turn, the dethatcher, or both. But it's really starting to bounce back and recover right here. So there is a lot of recovery here. This section was a lot more brown over in this way, but it's starting to bounce back. But as you guys, as I just mentioned, like this was nowhere near being brown until we started using that electric rake and the dethatcher and all that, and we made it brown with this equipment. So it's starting to, it's baby grass all over here, and it's growing in. And again, we've got some patches right here where you can see it growing in. It's that pretty lime green. There's a rock right there that needs to come out, probably came out of that soil. And another area right here. So all of this area. Now, one thing I will mention is the fight with Bermuda. I feel like I just kind of ticked off Bermuda. I didn't kill it anywhere with the running of the Earthwise and the running of the aerator. I feel like Bermuda has tried to creep into some of these areas quickly before the temperature has changed because we had those 90 degrees. Bermuda is definitely not out of the lawn. If anything, I feel like it copied and pasted itself even more in my lawn. So that is a fight that will continue until next year for sure. And remember, if you're, you can see the difference of where I stopped with the dethatcher. We stopped right here with the dethatcher, but we aerated everything. We left all this established grass alone. And so I just got done watering that, and we've got a couple holes that we repaired back there. So this area is doing well. So the story over here, guys, you remember this is a fusillade area. It's also an area where we had some of this questionable, is it nutsedge? Is it poatriv? What is it? I don't know. And we killed it with Roundup or Ace Hardware equivalent Roundup. We do have baby germination, as you may be able to see. In some of these areas, we got baby grass popping up, but in some areas we don't. And like back here, look on the very back side, like I can still see the seed over there, but I don't see any, well, I can see a few little baby grasses popping up. This was really muddy the day that we aerated. So this may be an area I have to come back with a rake and reseed. I don't know exactly what it's going to turn out looking like. So some of these, it's slow for the baby grass to come up. Some of it, like over on this side, it's coming up really well, and some of it, it's not. So it's just one of those wait and see. This area, don't look. You got grass over here on the right side, but in this section right here, not so much. There's seed, And I've taken a rake, I've thinned it out to make sure I didn't smother it with peat moss or anything like that. So that's not it. It could be the fact that there's still some glyphosate lingering in the soil that is not agreeing with the seed. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are there. And you can even maybe even point out a little bit of Bermuda that's trying to creep in over here. We got some germination on the right side all the way down this patch, but not so much on the left and in the middle section. So, and it looks like right around here, there's some Bermuda hanging out there. So don't know, questionable. We'll have to wait and see exactly when it all grows in, what happens and what we need to do there. As far as the bank, same thing. The bank was not this brown before dethatching and aerating. It definitely took a hit, but all along the bank, it is looking phenomenal. We've got baby grass growing in everywhere. Of course, we're not going to get down and show you all that, but we got peat moss and topsoil all through here. And all through here, I've been making sure I'm watering. And in most of it, we've got little babies coming up all over there. And we know that this is a very rocky area. This grass will only last a few months, maybe 6 months or 7, and it may begin to fade out because of the heat of North Carolina. At the time of making this, we're watching that Gulf hurricane that has a possibility to track right up Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, right up to us here. So we're going to be watching out for that. Remember our repair area here, I've yet to put any peat moss on it. We're just going to let it ride. Plenty of seed, even some sitting on top here. So we're watering that. And you can see some of the browning of the grass. Excuse me, some of the damage from the equipment. And as far as the little squirt of tenacity we put in, it has lit up a little bit of these broadleaf weeds. And really all that is a color show. I don't expect tenacity to really do anything or kill anything. Remember, no pre-emergent here in the front. That's why we went heavy with the seed in attempts to choke out any cool season weeds that want to come up. So that's kind of the overview right now of the lawn. It's coming in well. There's nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot this, I forgot that. Everything's beginning to grow in and look nice. We've yet to mow. So everything just continues to grow. Where I was talking about seeing a little bit of fungus, I sprayed that propiconazole down and I don't see that tinginess anymore. I am seeing a little bit right here where it's, you know, a little bit maybe like it needs water or die off. I don't know. Because we've not had a whole lot of rain here recently. So I do try to hit this with the hose every now and then. And we've got this area we burned with fusilade. I have put down some peat moss. We've hit that with a little seed. And even down there in the ditch area, it is starting to have little baby grass come up over here. So this whole section we did pre-emergent. We cut it at, I think I cut it at around 3 inches the day before we got some rain. And over here, guys, man, it is looking awesome. This is what our front yard hopefully will look like. Of course, we're going to have triple threat instead of GCI seed. This is all GCI. We got a repair area here. We got a repair area here, I believe, when I was repairing this with some of the urea. I wasn't thinking, it tipped over something. I think I burned this, so no problem. We put some seed, we put some peat moss, and that should grow in here nicely soon. But as you can see, man, this section is looking great. I think we could definitely get darker as far as feeding it a little more fert, but we're going to wait and do that later on when we do the front yard once the baby grass grows in. So all in all, the flowers are doing well over here as well. And yeah, you can see even right here some of the tips that are colorized from the tenacity, the very little tenacity we did. I did, as you guys know, put microgreen and RGS down as well. And we got germination in 4 days. So that's typically what I see. And it's just a matter of continuing to water it at least once a day. That's where we are as far as our progress on our triple threat, on our solar green, and on the existing grass with the pre-emergent. Don't see any POA popping up or anything. With temps in the 40, we should be able to see that soon. If it's going to begin to develop, we may be able to see that popping up soon if our pre-emergent fails us. But so far in the front yard, we're looking pretty good. So as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by for this quick update of seeing the baby grass, seeing the triple thread. It's my first view. So far, so good. Obviously, it's young and still immature grass. I don't even know if that's a word. It's not mature grass. It's baby grass. So, we're making progress. And so it's growing in. We continue to add water. I'm like you guys. I'm starting to get a little itchy. Like, maybe I should put down some RGS. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to save it for later on. Maybe I should put down some Humic 12. Nope, I'm going to save it for later on. Maybe I should do a little more fert and green it up, make it, nope. Maybe, oh yeah, I bought that green charge. Nope, just be patient, Mr. Ferguson. So that's what we're going to do. So there you go. There's the lawn update. I'm going to quit blabbing. Remember to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll keep watching it fill in. I'm trying to also take pictures so we can show it later on. We start talking about this process, we can show pictures and remember and watch some of these areas where we put down the pre-emergent to see if that seed comes up. I'm starting to see baby grass on this area right here, so that's a good sign as well. But thank you for tuning in today. Again, become a member if you're interested. Use the super thanks if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Give the video a thumbs up. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning into this Wednesday video. Check out the midweek quickie if you're interested, and we'll see you on the next lawn care video. God bless.